Hello, and this is Splinter Cell God, and this is a segment I like to call What I Think. So here is what I think about... Am I sitting up right? Alright. So the first movie that I want to talk about is American Horror House. It was a sci-fi original movie that aired yesterday around 9 o'clock. It was directed by Darren Scott and written by Anthony Ferrante. What do I think about this movie? Well, it's awful. I mean, that's all I gotta say. It's really, really awful. So, I guess this movie is about this girl who ends up burning down a house because she fell asleep with a cigarette in her mouth, and thus there's this new house this lady went to, and she ultimately committed suicide. From then on, the people who have decided to go to that house started seeing these really weird visions. First of all, the scenes are just ridiculous. I mean, there's a little scene where you hear a girl coming home to this house, and it's at night and it's raining. She hears somebody singing "Itsy Bitsy Spider" went up the water spout. Now, you may think that this is a charming scene, but it's not. No. The girl walks in, she screams, she runs out. It shows both of their parents stabbed to death, mother and father, in the bed, and it shows a little girl with a knife waving it like this. That is the opening scene. That was bad. I'm sorry. That was really, really disturbing. So, after that, it shows another girl who is running from college, who has to get home, I guess. You know, she gets home and she starts playing a little tune from the Italian Wedding. I think you can look that up somewhere. But that was it. And then, obviously, she started playing the nursery rhyme after that with her teacher. Now, for some reason, as she's playing this nursery rhyme, there's a girl that appears behind her, and then all of a sudden, one of the strings snaps and cuts her on the cheek. Which is not really a problem. So she goes back to find a new string, because the teacher says to go. So she goes to this closet full of violins, or violas, or whatever they are, and she starts to hear all of them snapping. All the strings are snapping. So then, we find out that the strings are actually constricting her. And it pans out to the bottom of the stairs, where this lady is twisting the tuner, and somehow is making the strings tighter. So she's up there, standing there hopeless, the strings cutting into her face and her whole body, and then she falls into a million pieces. So, enough of that. There's another one where I guess it cuts to this group of girls that are trying to enter this Kappan society. It's not society, I thought it was an organization, but it's really a sorority. And they're like dressed in yellow raincoats, and they're kidnapping people. They kidnap the girls, and then they're put to a test where I have to go get a mascot, and they're left at a man's house. Well, I would say a teenager's house, like some early 20s, in their bikinis. So obviously, they're not topless either. So anyway, they finally get the mascot because the one guy falls for it. They bring it back. You know, it's just all these tests, and it's really annoying. So they finally get to the house. You know, they're partying. It's a sorority. They're drinking. And then all hell breaks loose. People start going upstairs. They start seeing a whole bunch of really weird things happening. People falling out of windows. People falling down the steps. This one officer ends up getting his entire esophagus pulled out. I don't know how that works. But, and then there's this really, really creepy old lady. That just the one who ultimately committed suicide. But you find that out as it progresses. You find out the history about it, and there's this girl and this early man in his 20s. They're trying to, they're shutting up a storm and stuff. So people are getting killed in the most gruesome ways, and it's one of the worst I've ever seen of October. So near the end, they find out that everybody who has been drinking at that house were drinking poison alcohol. They start throwing up, and they're trying to get everybody out, but they won't let them. They just won't let them. So it's kind of like a sorority, but in order to join it, you have to die. So let's list a couple of deaths that we can think of off the top of my head. There's a girl that falls down the steps. There's a boy who gets infected with bugs. There's a girl who gets drowned in a bathtub of blood when she was making a painting, I guess. There was a person who... the officer, his officer got pulled out of his mouth. And there was a girl that was... the girl that was shoved out the window ended up getting a bottle stuck in her eye. And literally, like, stabbed in the eye. So, just when you think that the two main protagonists, the girl and the man who know more about the place than everybody else does, they try to escape. So they run toward her, and then it just kind of like blacks out. And then it shows two more people, newcomers, came to this house saying, "Yo, man, I heard a lot of people died in here." And the other guy says, "Well, we're pretty badass if we actually live in this house." As you can see, I'm not really a badass. But, yeah, so that's it. So then they go in, they start unpacking, they move to another room, and all of a sudden you can see like the shadows of the people who are dead there. And then it shows everyone in a line with that woman. So that's it. This was really bad. I'm not going to lie. This was probably one of the worst I've ever seen this year. Is it as bad as Triassic Attack? I would say worse. Because Triassic Attack, in a sense, was... okay. No, it wasn't worse. Because the special effects in that movie were actually really good. I mean, as gruesome as they were, I think they were still good. But having to see them just constantly, it's kind of annoying, you know? And some of them, I really don't think actually could even happen. So, in a sense, regarding special effects, I think this movie actually beat Triassic Attack, because Triassic Attack just went to the cheapest way possible of picking up a CG'd, like a computer-generated object in the movie, and that is a step down too far. So yeah, it was awful. If you ever see this in October, and if you're in the middle of watching it, don't expect to find anything exciting about it, because this is just, it's so bad. I was constantly talking about how ridiculous this movie was. The character is forgettable, the plot is confusing as hell, and you only figure out mostly everything until an hour has passed in, or maybe a little less than that, but still. And it's constant death. American Horror House is an American horrible movie. That's what it is. I can't think of anything clever to make that a spin-off of. So that's it. That's my what I think about this movie. I expect movies to be better than this. Pegasus vs. Chimera was actually not bad. It was pretty good. But this one, even though they did a whole bunch of jump cuts, but this one is just bad. It's really, really bad. So that's it. Today is my birthday, so I'm not going to be watching this movie. I'm going to be spending time with family and friends, and also watching that Free Fall from the Edge of Space. You can look it up. It's actually really cool. He's probably already, by the time I'm talking right now, he's not done yet, but he will be once most of you see this. So I just wanted to talk about that and what I think. I might do more of these in the future if there are more movies that come out. So anyway, you guys, if I don't make another video within a few weeks, have a happy Halloween, and don't be afraid to not watch this movie. Okay? Alright. You guys, take care.